and they were languishing, let me tell you.
They are working hard to rectify the situation, Mike, but they've chosen some hardish Yokohama tires today, hoping that the day will unfold for them as the laps get out there on the other side of 20 perhaps, but boy, they're certainly not showing any threat to these two cars at the moment.
They're certainly not as they come across the line. Let's have a look at the Shell race score. It's John Bowe, your race leader. Glenn Seaton runs in second. Not too much between them either. Wayne Gardner third in the Coca-Cola Commodore. Fourth is Brocky in the Mobil Commodore. And fifth is Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Falcon. Here, don't go away. It's tightening up at the front. Car number 05 has just been able to slip through and pick up a point on Tony Longhurst as they come onto the back straight. Wayne Gardner now in his target sights, and Neil Crompton closes up on the tail of Longhurst. No change at the front. It's still pretty tight.
Meanwhile, back to the action. Neil Crompton closing on the back of the Castrol Falcon. Very few overtaking opportunities here for Crompton. He'd be well aware of that. He's trying to line up just some situation where he can take a little bit of advantage. See, Longhurst just takes the middle road there under brakes.
A little weave, only normal defensive driving, nothing against Tony, but he'll be wanting to not give this position away. He knows
just doesn't leave any opportunity. Oh, damage here on the front of Mark Scaife's car. Broken headlight, bit of damage to the front spoiler there. Scaife out of the car, and he would not be a happy chappy. This has not been a weekend these guys would want to remember.
Well, the Yokohama expert there having a quick look there. Mark just trying to double check why the car felt so strange to him, but he's wise enough to get out of it if it's not right.
Andy's down there with Mark Scaife, goes to walk away. Andy?
Yeah, it hasn't been the ideal weekend for Winfield Racing, Mark. A flat spot, not worth continuing.
Yeah, it's got a bad flat spot on it now, and with the tyre rule as it is, you can't change the tyre this time and have a good tyre for the second race, so put it away.
How would you describe the weekend so far?
Oh, it hasn't been great, but you know, that's what happens. That's the game.
Hope you have a better one in the second heat,
Thanks,
mate.
Tony Longhurst still holding off Neil Crompton.
Lap 14 of 34.
And pretty tight as well at the front of the field, and that gap that we've been following between Neil Crompton and Longhurst still about the same. Alan Jones getting pretty excited here with Dick Johnson in car number 17, so they have managed to move up behind.
Oh, look at this.
Here we go.
Sneaks up. Very nice move there. It shows how difficult it is to pass around this place.
Actually, Alan's favorite move here. He's done that twice now. I think recall seeing him pull a move like that last year. He's got the bit between his teeth, but still didn't qualify as well as his teammate Glenn.
This will be the lookout in the back of Neil Crompton's Commodore as Alan Jones gets on even terms with him. He'll pull a move. He won't sit in behind. He looks and explores for something else.
This is a very good indication of how difficult the nature of this circuit is. Crompton coming up right behind Longhurst. Now, if Longhurst is holding him up, that's going to allow Alan Jones. Oh, look, he gives him a little tap there under brakes. Come on, Tony, move.
Yes, he is holding him up.
Oh, and Longhurst really loses it there.
Oh, I think he got a helping hand there, Mark, but by the same token, he'll be disappointed. Another car stopped on the right-hand side.
John Trimble, I think it is. Stopped on the inside there, but
I think that was Fright.
So we've got a bit of a traffic jam here.
Neil gave him a little tap as they approached the braking area. I'm not sure if he was involved in actually pushing him around, but coming together there, big disappointment for Tony Longhurst. Neil Crompton, meanwhile, moves up another position. Alan Jones goes with him. Dick Johnson gets towed through, and Thomas Maziero, I believe, coming back into the action as well.
And the man who is now tailgating the Commodore would not appreciate a tap in the tail if he gets by. Well, the race is starting to come alive in the second part of it. Here's Brocky sideways as he comes out of the last turn, dives to the inside, going to put some pressure on Wayne Gardner, and says, yes, sir, there's third place.
Beautiful driving, just very, very professional. Waited until he could just get the legs on him.
Oh, you can see here now he's in front. He's got some clean air. He's pulling away from, will pull away from Gardner quite rapidly. Wayne almost opened the door there, so maybe he is in a bit of trouble. That last time around, 63.1. compared to Brock's 61, so obviously going a lot slower.
Now, where these Bridgestones are starting to work in the second half of the race, I'll tell you what, Glenn Seaton has just moved up onto the tail again of John Bowe.
Yes, here we go.
So that's on for young and old. Bowe's got the headlights. The old Osrams are full bright now. Keep some of those lap cars away. And all the privateers we'll be trying to get to, they're all in a group. They're having a great race together. We'll get to those shortly. But here they come through the last turn, back across the start-finishing line.
Absolutely flying up here across pit straight, trying to get a good run down into this right-hander.
Lap 21 of 34. Time running out for Glenn Seaton, and he's obviously studying every option as they come through here. Where is he going to try and nail John Bowe?
Well, he's certainly thinking about it, and John would have to be very aware of the fact that just the slightest slip on his part is going to be catastrophic results for him here. Don't have to give Glenn Seaton much of an invitation.
Well, we saw these two take it right down to the wire at Lakeside. Bowe's tyres just fading toward the end of the heat. Seaton closed right in, and Bowe was enough to hold him out. Can we repeat that performance here? Very different circumstances, very different track.
Yes, you might be able to get away with it at Lakeside. It's a bit tighter, this one. And Seaton's best move is the first turn. That's where he loves. Dive down the inside. But if anyone's driving defensively, you'll never pull that off. And the privateers we mentioned, they've been having a great scrap together. Here's David Attard coming through. Right behind him, Mark Larkham having a great run today from the Mitre 10 Falcon. And right behind him, Bobby Pearson was in amongst them as well. They're having a great race. Pearson, David Attard, Paul Romano. They're all together having one race between themselves, the privateers.
Yeah, great performance there. Here's the back of the lead again, John Bowe. And Seaton at the moment powerless to do anything about this gap. He can maintain the gap, but doing anything about moving up on him is another thing altogether.
Both cars just handling absolutely superbly. They just sit on the road beautifully.
Oh, Trevor Ashby's...
Trevor's had a bit of a snow plow job.
Doing a bit of grass cutting there.
A bit of gardening, yeah.
So a bit of damage there for Trevor, winner of the Auto Action Dash earlier on this morning, but he's in a lot of trouble here. Was running in 13th, 14th position. Jones really close on Penrite corner there, gets right under the wing. There's very little he can do on this. Crompton leaves the door open.
All these fellows are driving extremely well. The lateral forces on this circuit, just holding the wheel in place, getting the gears down through the gears, a lot of gear changing, and therefore one hand off the wheel occasionally. And I think we're seeing just tremendous level of professional driving here this morning.
Up to 190 kilometres an hour on the back straight, brake very hard for the switchback coming onto pit straight. Demanding circuit physically for the drivers. These 1,300 kilogram monsters juggling about 580 horsepower for the rear axle. And you have to work very, very hard to keep them going straight. Jones very close to Crompton.
He is good under brakes, isn't he, Jones?
Up toward GIO corner. He's still blocking him out. It's good pressure, solid pressure driving from Crompton.